Good morning and welcome to a day in the life of an actor looking for acting work. Also, I'm looking for non-acting work as well because we've got to fund just life. So that's what today is. I have a job interview in, I think, just under 2 hours. So I have some of the questions in advance. So I've written out some answers and I'm trying to be as detailed as possible, do as much research as possible. So I'm going to take some time now to read over my answers, add any more that I want to add, finalise them, and then be ready for the interview, hopefully. Well, I will be ready. Let's just speak positively. It's around 15 minutes before my interview, so I've prepared, and I also submitted myself to a few different acting castings that I saw because I often do that every morning. And something that did happen is that one of the castings I submitted to has got back to me and said that they know me from YouTube, and I feel like this is something that I don't really address that much in my normal videos, but I do sort of get recognised, I guess, because I think, like, I started this channel when I was 13 and I wasn't making videos about this kind of thing, but because I was making videos it sort of turned into this, and this is how I gained an audience through the acting kind of element of it. But what I didn't really think through was that this is a very small industry and a lot of people within this industry are very well researched and will look at absolutely everything to do with the industry online, which involves my videos. So I will go to acting classes and people will know who I am. I will be friends with people for a few months and then they'll be realising that they've actually seen my videos before they even met me, and I will go to auditions and people will know who I am because of this, and I will submit myself to castings and people will know who I am because of this, and people sometimes recognise me in classes, on the street. It's happened, and I just didn't realise because this channel obviously is not huge, but because it's such a small industry, people know me. I guess also there will be people who recognise me who won't mention that to me, so that's also something that I'm learning how to navigate. But I think that's something to do with acting as well, because I want to do TV and film work, and that will mean that if I get to do the kind of work that I want to do, I will be known. And I'm not doing it for the fame, but like, fame is a thing that has happened and it's already happening to me. Everyone knows who I am. But anyway, that's enough chat about me and my fame, I guess, for now. But I thought I'd also talk about job interviews, and I think acting has helped me with that, because in my acting training we've done a lot of preparation on how you talk as yourself in an audition, because I think that's very important. So I think there's a lot of grounding yourself practices and understanding that you deserve to be in any space you take yourself into, and learning that kind of small talk element, and like, it's almost like PR training. Like, I don't want to be fake in an interview, but it's learning about like being self-aware, and I think that acting training has really helped that, because it's like, do you want to go in and be like, oh, the weather's terrible, it's cold, it's raining, my trains were late? Like, do you want to do that, or do you want to be like turning everything positive and making more positive small talk? Because I think these things do subconsciously affect people, and also making sure you don't appear like a robot. Like, when people say, what have you been up to recently, they have your CV. You don't need to list off your CV. It's about building rapport with people. I hate the idea that I would be perceived as fake, but I think it's just empowering you to come across as the best version of yourself and make other people feel comfortable and make yourself feel comfortable and able to consistently take yourself to these spaces and not be like overcome with nerves and anxiety. So I've done my interview now and it was actually really fun. Like, I love getting to speak to people from within the creative industries and just hear about the kind of work that they're doing, the motivation behind the work that they're doing. And I think you kind of get a vibe in interviews, I think, whether or not you'd like to work for the company, and this is a job that I would really like to do. Like, this is the kind of work that I am interested in. So we'll see what happens with that. And now I've got plans to go get ready to go meet a friend. It's a beautiful sunny day and I feel like I don't want these to be boring and you to just see random different walls in my house, but also I'm terrified of people finding out where I live. Until I work out how to navigate that, I guess I'll just have to update you later on. So now I've come back from seeing my friend and I've got a couple different job applications that I need to either read read over and send off or write up and send off, but I feel like I'm getting quicker at the process of doing that. I think the nature of acting work means that you're applying for work all of the time and you're always having to audition, but like I'm also applying for other work as well. I'm doing so many more interviews and getting through to the interview stages and getting through to the final two, so hopefully eventually I'll get work, and then once you get those kind of jobs it will be easier if you need to move on from those kind of jobs to be able to do that. So it's a while later now and I've sent off 3 different emails about 3 different jobs, and I also sent myself off to a short film casting, which I'm very grateful that my friends sent me this casting, and I think it's just so great to send castings between your friends. And now we've got to my final task of the day, which is recording this, because I've had so many self-tapes recently that have all been video. I think I did within a week 6 different self-tapes, but this is an audition but it's audio only, and I've not done any kind of like voice acting for a while, but I did a term of voice acting at my youth theatre years ago. I did it online during lockdown. I was just signing myself up to every single course they had, so I was doing sort of 6 different acting classes a week because I was also doing acting classes online elsewhere, and it was just a really great time because before I was 17 I hadn't really done an acting class outside of the kind of school environment. I don't know why we're getting into the history of my life and my acting, but I hadn't really done that much before I was 17, and then I did loads, and I feel like Prime Youth Theatre in Swindon is just incredible. Like, it builds people up confidence wise, and I just don't think I'd have known about drama school without it, and I wouldn't know about the industry without it, and it just gave me such a great foundation, and the teaching is so supportive, and I just think it was such a great starting point for my acting training. Generally, I've picked up the basics, like ideally you should have like, I think a hand's width distance away from the mic, from like your mouth to the mic, and make sure that you're recording with soft furnishings around so you don't get loads of echo, and obviously be careful as well of like harsh sounds like the P sound and the B sound, that you're not spiking the mic and sort of making it very harsh sounds that will like not sit well with the audio and all of that. And I think I'm not going to overthink this either. It's a page and I'm going to read over it, and then I'm going to read it and give them just basically an option of how they might like this performed. I think I've just learned over the years just really not to overthink self-tapes and all of the different kinds of auditions, and just to have fun with it and give them some options and ideas and an impression of what you'd be like as the part, and the roles that you're right for are the roles that you will get. And I think it's taught me this especially because a lot of the different people who I've worked with after auditioning with them for the second time, and I think all these auditions are about planting seeds and finding the right person for the role, and just because you're not right for one role it doesn't mean that you won't work with them in the future. And I'm going to end the video here, so thank you so much to everyone for watching, and please subscribe if you would like to. I would really appreciate it, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!